Hey everybody, it's Bust, getting ourselves prepared for the Season 2 Tarjeta Draft Challenge. And so we got our drafts and the kind of overview of the league covered in the previous video. Before we jumped into the actual games themselves, I did want to get in a few practice games against the AI, just so we could kind of get a feel for what each of our decks was about, see if we wanted to make any edits to our kind of core deck before we jumped in and played against any of the players. And so I'm going to play against the AI with all of our decks a couple of times, just to get a feel for how things go. And see if we want to make any edits. And so let's go ahead and jump on in. First and foremost, we're going to be playing our Bard Freljord deck. Again, this is the deck I expect to get banned out pretty much every time that we play it. I think this is far and away our most powerful deck. I was really hoping to get to split split Freylord away from Bard, but I didn't want to risk losing out on the opportunity to play Freylord, so I went ahead and paired it off with our Bard. And so really high-powered stuff here. We have the Bards, the Birds, the Esmiths, have high-powered Epics and Buried in the Ice and Howling Abyss, and then we have this nice curve along with some really high-powered late-game Overwhelms. And so, that's what we'll be doing battle with first. I hope you're ready, AI. Because that thunder's about to come at you. Feeling good. I think we got a kitty that wants to hang out as well. Thinking about it, he's going to put his claws in me a bit and run around. Okay, reasonable enough start. This is one of the kind of big starts we talk about in Constructed, actually. It's having this 2-drop into a 2-drop into a Troll Chant. We should be able to use it, reasonably effectively here. You don't have great Troll Chants when you're using Avarosian Sentry, but, maybe something will turn out. No blocks. We're going to try and get the good Troll Chant. I think with this next turn, we're going to add the Sentry, and then if opponent just blocks the Sentry, we can stop, but let's see how this turn goes. That's kind of gross. Kind of gross. I think we're stuck protecting our unit. Then we can just try and trade it away next turn. That's nasty, Braum. That's nasty, bro. Alright, we can recover, though. We're starting to pick up the top end of our curve. Starting to get the chimes into our deck now. The slight delay in picking up chimes now that Bard has been nerfed. Hopefully we get used to it. Oh shit, the Poro Snack. F. I thought this turn was going to go so well with our marksman. F. Okay, well, the kind of upside to this, at least, is we do have the Bard churning through our deck. We have a lot of big plays in hand. This Hearthguard's about to boost everything in our deck, and so we can continue to really build up board here, and not just be, suffering. Ew. Grom makes us suffer a little bit. Can't attack now. Okay. And the unfortunate thing that we didn't have come together here that you'll see in Expedition is we didn't land a pack mentality. So pack mentality is pretty strong in terms of it's pretty strong in terms of giving you a way to close out a game, right? Freylord, this is why I focused on these Overwhelms so heavily, is that Freylord can get all of the stats, but then it needs a way to actually finish out the game. And we're hoping to do that here with the Overwhelms that we drafted. We just don't have a card like Pack Mentality to make that pop off. So what do we got? We got Esmith, to now we can use Sejuani to take down Braum. Okay. I think this should be a round of pretty good attacks. Oh shit, we fucked up our mana though. Oops. Alright, well let's continue to get on board. He's not doing anything, which is kind of odd, but I think this is okay place to attack still. Sure. And our Trendemir bro just turned up. So while I didn't do a fantastic job of counting our mana, I think that we're going to be okay in closing this out once we're starting to deploy our big threats. Or you just drop Buried in the Ice, right? That's another way to do it. Do we need to Harsh Winds this turn? mean, I don't think so. We're only taking a handful of damage and... okay. No, it's not super scary. Y'all remember Trendemir? He got banned in Expedition because he was too good. Not quite the case as to where he stands now, but he did catch the old banner Ruski. All right, I think we're good to close this out now. We want Esmuth to go onto a Overwhelm. The rest of these attacks are all fine. We're going to hook Braum onto the Hearthguard since he's not going to deal any damage. And then bring in those booms, my friends. We lethal? No, he's got some cards, but we can Harsh Winds if we want. It feels pretty weak, though. Okay. Rip Bard. We got a Buried in the Ice for next turn. The opponent's going to play a unit, and we're just going to nuke everything. Feels good, man. Feels good. I'm glad to see. Glad that you get to see Buried in the Ice in action. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. If the opponent's just going to attack. Okay. All right, let's crush him. Oh shit, the Troop of Elnix, huh? Looks like he whiffed. Okay. Not going to organize this attack. Just slamming the squad in. Good to see this nice Bard growth happening to all of our units. We got him. GG. Mark it a W for our deck that's going to get banned every time. Alright. You get one more shot, AI. One more shot to take down the Trendemir. And then we'll move on to the Poppy deck. What up, Gwen? And so this is just happening after the 3.13 patch came out. I'm not familiar with playing against the AI too much, but there was a note in the patch notes that said, added Evelyn to the Kaisa and Evelyn deck. And it's like, oh wow, that made it through QA, huh? You just had the Evelyn deck with no Evelyns in it. Makes sense. I understand, but interesting choice to have that happen. But all right, on this board, like I don't want to trade because we don't have any follow-up units, right? We don't have a turn 3 play that we can make, and so if we attack and trade a Harsh Winds or trade a spell for one of his units, I'm more than happy enough to have that be the case. If he does weird shit and just doesn't block, then a 3-bank's not that bad. But I think this is about as good as we can expect. I'm going to go with the Troll Chant. So that we can bank a little bit, so we can play a touch off curve if we need to. And with the way our hand is set up here, we're probably not going to get a Troll Chant, right? The card draw with the chimes. Feels good, man. Feels good. So I don't think we'll be playing Combat Tricks this turn. Let's just go ahead and go big with the Hearthguard. We'll swing. We'll get some attacks in and see if we can't just trade out some of his board. He's doing weird shit. Yeah, just don't quite care about what's happening here. Wow, that's a pretty big soul spinner, I guess. I mean, do we just give up on the turn now? We attack with everything. He puts his 5/2 in front of the Bjerg. Nah, let's just clear. You fought valiantly, but your efforts are no longer needed. Bard popping off. Okay. Let's keep this board clear. We're gonna play Bird, give us kind of the maximum opportunity to grow our Wild Claw. And then his blocks next turn just have to be bad. We're going to have the mana to flash freeze something. We have the Wild Claw punching in damage. I think we're looking pretty good. Okay. Now we can start entombing his plays, right? So if we entomb on his turn, he won't have a blocker for the follow-up turn. I think we're pretty set against the old AI here. 9 mana works out beautifully between Esmuth, the Sentry, and then entombing whatever he plays. In the real world, like, the only thing we would have to worry about here would be Atrocity. Like, I don't know if this style of deck is going to play Atrocity, but I don't think we have to worry about it. Harsh Winds just says, suck it, bro. About to bring the booms on you. Oh, Bard. So sad seeing that you're going to be banned every time. Okay. 17 into 13. Call it a GG. So you ripped him up good. Again, I want this to be the forefront of our strategy, and I was kind of like thinking going into the draft, like, if you have, like, you know, 3 balanced decks, they're just going to have to make the decision to ban a medium. But if you have like 1 really good deck and 2 bad ones, then you're just kind of stuck, right? If the average, value of your decks is like 7 and 7 and 7 on a 10-point scale, and you just average your deck's quality to 7, as compared to, oh god, I don't know how that math works, but if you have like 110 and then a 6 and a 5, and then you're stuck with playing the 2 below average decks because your opponent just bans your 10 every time. That's kind of how I felt was going to happen to Bard. We'll see how things play out, though. So, deck number 2. This is our Poppy Grow Your Units rally-based deck. We'll scroll up and down here real quick, but the big key things here are we have multiple ways to grow our units. We have Poppy, we have Garen, we have Vanguard Sergeants making 4 Demacias, we have the Yordle Captains and Cytheria. A very low curve to get a bunch of units on board to work with all of those. And then we have the classic constructed play of using rallies in Golden Aegis and Relentless Pursuits with our big and gigantic boards. We have plenty of combat tricks to manage with our units, and then we have a small fairies package here as well with the Commando, the Seedling, the Grandfather Fae, the Gleaming Lantern, along with 2 Fae Sprouts. So that's our Poppy deck, Poppy number 2, getting ready for battle. Let's see who we battle now. Porobot coming at us. I missed those. Hey, it is the Poros coming at us. I don't think this is the. I guess it would be the standard Braum deck that comes at you. I miss those expedition decks. We don't get to have the fun with those anymore. But reasonable enough curve here. Mulligan away our 1. We don't have a lot to hit, but we could hit a Ranger's Resolve, or we could hit a different 1-drop. And then otherwise, not trading out Poppy. I guess I could see an argument for mulliganing away that Gleaming Lantern, because it's not that great without another fairy to go with it. But it'll be all right. Go ahead and stem the bleeding here. We just need to get some stuff on board until we can get Poppy going. Pokestick's kind of interesting. Like, well, I think against Freljord we're okay, right? Where this thought process is going is, I want to have the spell to protect Poppy with, so we can sharp sight Poppy, but this opponent's not going to have any removal in their deck, so we should be fairly okay without getting involved in combat. All right. He's tapped out, so we don't have to worry about the Poro snacks. Don't want to trade away our Gleaming Lantern, since we are going to be growing all of our units next turn. And taking 7 is serviceable. I've survived worse. But we have to assume he's going to put his Mighty Poro in front of Poppy. We're going to want to protect her with the Sharp Sight, so we'll just be adding the Vanguard Sergeant here. Okay. Oh. Sure. Now, if you're not familiar with how Poppy works, this isn't a thing you run across too frequently, as to where you can try and grow the units on your bench. The Gleaming Lantern was a little bit too small in this attack, but you can attack with Poppy, and the unit doesn't have to go to the middle for her to get the bonuses spread out. All right, thanks for thanks for the heads up again. I appreciate all the nice things you're doing for us today. I think we can just take all of this. Like we can drop a pokey stick, I guess that's fine. But I don't quite want to give up on the lantern when we have the face sprout in hand, and he's kind of far away from lethal. But I mean, I think this is fine. We do have the barrier in hand to try and pick up better attacks this turn. Oh. Okay. So let's see. Poppy comes in. Everyone else can attack, sure. We'll get the quick attack challenge onto the Mighty Poro. Pick his only defensive unit up with the guy here. We should have, I guess, preemptively face sprouted. And so if we hit like a 1 or a 2 cost fairy, we could have gotten it on the board. I was 100% planning on playing Golden Aegis this turn, and I think it's still going to be enough to end this game. But it was a little sloppy. Let's see if we can't fix it. Blast Cone Seedling coming down. Would have definitely been a little bit of extra damage. Odd seeing opponent not do anything. I'm curious what's in their hand where they just don't add to the board. It was a big do nothing. So feel like we've recovered. Then if you're not familiar with the interaction between Poppy and Yordle Smith, things go left to right. And so it's a little bit awkward with this attack because Poppy flipped because she was leveling up, but you typically want your Yordle Smith at the end. Or I'm sorry, you usually want your Yordle Smith to the left of the bonuses. You have to kind of like mix and match how it's going to work, but you basically don't want your Poppy bonuses to cancel out anything that would grow due to the Yordle Smith. And so if he's in the middle there, units to the left might grow before he grows and doesn't get to pass out his bonuses. Wasn't a good explanation. I wish we could jump back in that game and I could show it a little bit better, but not going to happen. Are we just going to play all the same decks over and over again? That's what it looks like. All right, Gwen. Need more pool party skins. Yeah, I talk about the important things in the game. And Riot making all of these scary looking skins. I don't want the scary ones, man. Pool party's fun. Look at this. Fiora's out here having a good time. Look how happy she is. You don't need to be printing all of these sad cards. That's what we're getting out of the new set. The new one's coming out. They just printed Kayn and Evelyn and all these demon looking things. It's fucking scary. I'm not here to see the scaries. All right. At any rate, let's get ourselves out of combat here. I'm going to just go ahead and put the Sergeant in front of the Mist thing, because we'll play Poppy next turn, and Poppy will grow the Stone Stackers. Then having the 2 3/4s is pretty good against a 3/3. I did the mathematics on that one, so you didn't have to. 4/4s are good, or 3/4s are good against 3/3s. Gwen's a little bit too big now. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Give us a big chance to grow on this board. I'm gonna like thinking of leading off with Conchologist, but is that really where we want to be? I think like we'll realistically play Conchologist, and then next turn we'll probably open attack and look to back. That does leave us in a spot to where we can't get Formidable going on our Broadwing. A lot of damage coming at us, though. Okay. Maybe we just have to save back-to-back for the next attack. But, I mean, we don't have a great answer to Gwen if we're just going to throw away our Broadwings. We can drop Fiora, but she's too small. She won't grow with the Poppy. Let's just get a full board. I don't think they're going to interact with this particularly well. We can put Barrier onto the Blast Cone Seedling, and then depending on how he blocks, Poppy should be fairly safe. Right. You're safe, Poppy. I'll protect you. Gwen flip, sure. She did just get updated. I can't remember if this was in the previous patch or in the new one, but her flip works a little bit differently now as to where... I thought they reworded this on her flip. Another ally gains power, sure. Drain 1 from the enemy nexus 1 time for every 2 power I have. I thought that they did something to where she functioned a little bit differently. Wouldn't be the first time I was wrong. Alright, I'm going to drop Face Sprout. The idea for the turns, we're probably just going to look to back into Gwen, but let's see what turns up here. Nothing particularly exciting. Let's take Pix. We can use Pix along with Fiora next turn if we need to. So what's she go up to? 9? That's a lot. That's a pretty big one there, Gwen. Not enough for a lethal, though. Alright, well, it's kind of scary. We're going to have to see if we can't get a lot going with our 4 Demacias and such. Would feel a lot better if we had a rally. No rally. More than one way to pick a pine cone, in case you didn't know that. I'm just assuming here he's gonna have to get Gwen involved, and so I didn't add Fiora to the board. We'll see the level of correct that is. This doesn't kill it, right? Just does 3 damage. Interesting. Nope. Right, so this should grow the whole team. Well, everyone except the Yordle captain. That's okay. So we'll be making the Yordle Smith an 8. 8's enough to grow everyone, right? Still short of growing the Yordle captain. You need to do it like this. Now the Yordle captain has quick attack with the Poppy on the right. Okay. Oh, we're 1 short? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is dangerous. If he has another Gwen, then we're going to be suffering, but hopefully it's not a problem. I don't know if I can live it down if we lose to the AI in our practice game. Picking up Captain Enrico is huge. We could just kill whatever they play now. All right. I think we've survived. Let's boom him. Uh-oh. All right, Spirit Journey. You see those cards come out in the middle, and you know you have to worry about it. Things get scary. But GG. The Poppy deck takes him down 2 in a row. That one was a little close, right? That was a little close. Doesn't make me feel awesome about our future, but you know, 100% win rate and stuff. We were able to take that one down. And let's pull up the real wild card of the mix. If you haven't seen what we're bringing here, this is a Shiraza the Blade, Kato the Arm combo. So if you're not entirely familiar with how this works, Shiraza the Blade deals double damage to the Nexus. The best way to deal double damage to the Nexus is with Overwhelm. We give her Over the Whelm with Kato. So Kato would make her a 6-attack Overwhelm. And then we have a handful of combat tricks to push her up even higher with the Elixir of Wrath, Brothers Bond, Rising Spell Force kind of cards. We have the Sumpworks map to potentially give her Elusive, and then the Shock Blasts and Decimates to close out the game. And so we're looking to be a somewhat early game aggro deck, closing the game off with Overwhelms. That's kind of the classic Noxus-based draft strategy, but we do have this big booming combo with Shiraza, and it still turns out that units like Trifarian, Glory Seeker, and Reckless Trifarian can crunch in tons of damage with the help of Kato the Arm. So, those are our decks. Or that's our deck 3, I should say. I was hoping that the Kato wording would show up at the bottom of the screen. Kato and Shiraza are totally dating. All right, so we're up against another Freljord deck, different Braum deck this time. This one has Ash in it. Let's see how it goes. Ideally, we would have picked up a 2-drop, but I think our Draven and our Caitlyn are just too powerful to let go. Now, do we want to like start challenging this? Right? We don't have to play for value. We can just actually discard Draven and start to get the Poros going. I clicked the button, so we're not going to do it, but I could definitely see an argument for that, because just going into turn 3 without having done anything, not the best. All right, I'm convinced. We're going to do this now. I'm going to discard Draven. Going to add the Poros. And then we have some trades if we want. We have some free damage we can get in this turn. I think this is ideal. I don't think we can just pass into turn 3 when our spells just aren't that good. So I'm going to add Caitlyn here. She blocks everything on board with ease. And then we can move into turn 4 and try to build up a little bit stronger. Looks good. Looks good. I like it. Good attacks with Caitlyn. Good attacks with Draven. Opponent may have some frostbites. That's, you know, kind of awkward here. At least we get to see it before the attack happens. But you know, it's a big worry dying to brittle steel. Okay. See ya, friend. You fought hard. You fought valiantly, Caitlyn. It just wasn't enough today. Oh, shit. Oh, that's how you lose a game right there. haven't had to deal with that shit in a while. Oh, man. So, I mean, if we just block the smalls, we're going to fall to 2. Oh, that's brutal. Okay. At least what may be our saving grace right here is he doesn't have any overwhelms yet. But this is not good. This is not good. The triple hit on the Troop of Elnix was pretty devastating. Can we lethal? you see the Sumpworks map come up with Shiraza on the board, and that's the immediate question, right? Can we lethal? We can only deal 10. So we're going to have to add units. The downside, like, I would really like to make 2 plays on the turn. We're not going to be able to. I'm leaning towards, we're just going to like Sumpworks map the battering ram and attack. And then, I mean, we're dead to an open, but we'll see if he does it. He's going to do it. Let's be real. Dang. Adding Braum just to tug at our heartstrings. Okay, everything's too big. All right. Whew, that's tough. Hopefully we don't have to encounter that stuff as we play against the humans. I do not miss Troop of Elnix being in being in a format. It's just that was a fun one. That was one of the things always described as, you know, we're playing a game here for fun, and what scenarios happen with Troop of Elnix that result in both players having fun, right? And so you have these spaces to where I play Troop of Elnix and hit like 3 units. I'm having loads of fun, but you're not, right? Because you're just about to get annihilated and can't really do anything about it. Or I play Troop of Elnix, and just miss, and then I guess you enjoy that because we didn't kill anything. But at the end of the day, you know, someone's not having fun, and so where is like the midpoint to where someone is enjoying themselves? Is that like hitting another 3/3, so you get 2 3/3s for 5 mana? And it's like, outside of that one scenario, it's just no fun for anybody. It seems like a really poor design, in my opinion. But all right, we're getting reasonably built up on board. It's like, I'm curious if opponent's going to start attacking here. I think we just get involved with everything, right? We've got this real grind fest of a hand here. And so if we have to start like shock blasting things, it'll be okay. Now that was an actual disaster right there with both of our small units getting taken down. Maybe we should have just blocked with 1. But I think we're still in an okay-ish spot. We have a lot of recovery in our hand. Maybe we should have left Annie at home with that one and not gotten too involved. But, I mean, if he's doing this, it feels great. He's just coming in for 3 damage here. It's not that big of a deal. Kato time.
I served for decades, and you call on me now.
Okay. Probably not worth an attack here. If we're not punching in overwhelm damage, it doesn't sound that great. And we still have a little bit of time to be on the defensive. Check, we got the overwhelm fragment in hand, so we can chunk in for like 1,000,000 damage next turn. Just don't want to do it right now. All right, well, let's see what we hit for. This is going to be sweet. This is what I expect out of this deck, right? This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you watched our kind of build-up video to this in terms of how we expected these games to go, and do we want to play Legion Marauder, or do we want to play the Electro Rig and the 2-5? And this is kind of exactly why, is we kind of end up in these things as to where the aggression didn't happen, but we can build up giant overwhelm boards and still come in and crush. And so in terms of the Legion Marauders, they don't slow down your opponent, but with the Electro Rigs and the Crush Bot having a bunch of health, they can stall out the board for a bit until we have the time to get that big overwhelm smash in. And so that was it. That was our introduction to all of our decks. So the next upcoming video in terms of the draft challenge will be our week 1 match. I think we should be playing about 1 match a week, and so I haven't picked a specific day to drop all of the videos, but you should still be able to just kind of pick up on them on the channel. I assume most of the people watching this are already our subscribers, and so hope you enjoy what's coming at you. And that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you got to dip your toes back in the land of limited formats. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Busted. We thank you for being here.